we start, I want to go through a safety minute. We always do a safety minute before we start our meetings. And one of the things I want to kind of highlight today is aggressive driving. I sent a tweet out to the social media for TxDOT here in the Houston district. And one of the things I pushed out today was aggressive driving. We've seen a number of incidents regarding aggressive driving. So we just ask folks, when you're out on the road, don't become an aggressive driver and don't engage aggressive drivers. Do your best to disengage a situation that someone is coming at a high rate of speed, or you see them traveling. Just move out of the way. Don't engage them. Don't try to expand the problem. So we're seeing a lot of these incidents, and so de-escalate the situation. Lay off the horn. Don't tailgate. Those kinds of things we're asking folks not to do. It's really important when you're out on the road. Drive friendly. We see where folks, they get out and they may be normal folks. They're not combative or get into situations, but they get out, they get behind the wheel and they get aggressive. So don't become an aggressive driver, and most importantly, don't engage aggressive drivers. And of course, if you see a situation where there is an aggressive driver, certainly call PD, call 911, and report. And always get a license plate to make sure that we're keeping folks safe on the roads. It's really important. So without further ado, we have our assistant area engineer for our North Harris office. He's going to talk about our 1960 project today. So take it away, Roger.
Thank you, Danny. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Roger Lopez. I'm the assistant engineer for the North Harris area office. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the 1960 project from SH 249 to Cotton Road project. I think I can now share with my screen, Danny.
Okay, let me work on it.
Okay. You can open the file.
It says the host disabled our option to share the screen. Is that something we can change?
Roger, you should be good to go. Roger, you should be ready to go. Sorry about that.
No problem. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to start talking a little bit about the quick facts about this project. The FM 1960 road in this area has ADT over 50,000 vehicles per day along FM 1960. With this number, the value puts the FM 1960 as the 27th most congested highway in Texas. And also the annual cost of delay is $56 million. And the annual hours of delay is $366,000 per person. Person hours, I'm sorry. A typical commute times on this FM road is 1.54 times longer than during the peak periods of congestion. A big variable to for this high factor is the intersection with the BNSF Railroad at Great Crossing. The limits for this project. It goes from FM 1960, for the FM 1960, the limits is from SH 249 to Cotton Road. To be more exactly, it's a 0.8 miles project. It starts from right east from Central Field Drive, a little bit forward east also from Cotton Road. The scope of work for this project, pretty much the project will reconstruct FM 1960 from SH 249 to Putnam Road to an 8-lane divided curve and guided roadway with raised median and left turn lanes. Reconstruction will include newly concrete pavement. The project will also install new storm sewer system that is going to improve with the drainage at this area. Also, we're going to install the concrete sidewalks and railroad crossing improvements. All these changes are probably is going to help to the mobility along the corridor. Some background about this project. It started in 2005 as a safety project to remove the at-grade railroad crossing along FM 1960. TxDOT partnered at that time with the Houston Northwest Chamber of Commerce to build a stakeholder working group. There was multiple alternatives based on the stakeholder engagement. One of them was the construction of the bridge over the railroad. Another option was to build a bridge with existing service roads at grade. One option that I can mention here is the press section under the bridge or under the railroad, but it's a little bit complicated because the hydraulic issues probably. And the last option, I believe, is the bridge, which is this picture here, but I really don't understand what's that. I'm assuming that was the railroad over the roadway. The current status for this project. The project is environmentally clear. The right-of-way acquisition is still ongoing. The utility relocation is ongoing too. There is some delays about it, but it's out of TxDOT control. So the letting date for this project is June 2022. We may be able, or we may be forced to change the letting date due to utility relocations, but probably in March or April, we are going to have more updates about this new date. Also, the project is classified as an intersection improvement. The total estimate for this project is $20.3 million. 80% is funded by federal money and 20% is local. The construction activities is going to start or are going to start in August 2022 if the letting date is still in June. And the total construction is estimated in 28 months. This slide is showing the existing condition of the FM 1960 roadway. Right now, some areas already have 4 lanes in each direction. We have existing raised median, but that's going to be replaced to allow for left turn lanes. Also, we're going to be replacing all the existing pavement, which is almost reaching the span life. The proposed condition is going to be shown in the next slide. It's pretty much like I was saying, is 11-inch thickness CRCP, reinforced concrete, raised median with left turn lanes, sidewalks. Also, we are going to be replacing the mast at the intersections for the traffic mast and drainage. The TCP for this project during construction, we are trying to keep all the 3 lanes in service as much as possible. Of course, we are going to have some daily lane closures. And for these daily lane closures, probably we are going to release the information in advance. If you have any questions about this lane closure during construction, you can contact the TxDOT Public Information Officer, in this case, Danny Perez.
Yeah, I can go over that slide.
Yes.
Roger.
Go ahead.
Here we go. So in case you have any questions moving forward for this project, we won't have a dedicated website. TxDOT has hundreds of projects. We would love to have a website for every single project. Unfortunately, we do not for this particular project. But the best thing that I recommend is to follow us on social media. We push constant information. We're pushing information out on our Twitter feed, Instagram, on Facebook as well. Closure information, we'll post that. Any closures we have, any lane flow disruption, any project closures that we have moving forward will be posted at HoustonTransStar.org and DriveTexas.org. And so, of course, there's my email address. What I like to tell folks is our doors open. If there's any questions you have, anything pertaining to your specific location or any question you have related to this project, feel free to reach out to us. I work with Roger and Philip Garland, our area engineer for the North Harris office. And of course, we have a project team and we coordinate with those folks to make sure that we're getting the latest information out. So if there's any particular questions you have, certainly feel free to get with us or ask the question, send us an email, call us. We'll probably work on getting some information out on the information sheet. We like to push information sheets out to folks that have all the details as far as the project, the limits, the timeline. So we'll probably push something out sometime in the next few months for this particular project that we can give to the chamber and push out to the chamber members. But of course, those resources, HoustonTransStar.org, DriveTexas.org are very good resources. And if we have any closures or any project updates, we're certainly going to push that out on social media. So feel free to follow us on those feeds. And if you have any questions, that's my number's there, my email is there. You can certainly reach out to us and we'll make sure to respond in a prompt, in a quick manner. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. Right, the questions there.
Yeah. You see those questions? You want to handle
You can start from the
yourself,
top
or
and
you
go
want
to
me
the
read them
bottom.
too?
Let me see. I don't see the question.
Okay.
The first one says when you can give us an update on the construction going on at the intersection of Eldridge and 1960. That's not out of North Harris, Roger,
Yeah.
correct? That's going to be another office.
That's a different project to the other side of the 249. Probably you send us an email, we can provide that information. I believe it's still under design. Okay, Danny.
Yeah, Mr. Miranda, go ahead and send me, if you got my email address there, send me an email, shoot me an email. I'll certainly respond and make sure we get that answered for you.
Next question is, what's the final change to the railroad crossing? We are just improving that railroad crossing. I believe that area is 3 lanes so far. We are gonna improve to 4 lanes. But there is no big changes about it, like the initial proposals for a bridge over the railroad. I don't know, Danny, if that's related to budget, but I wasn't involved since the beginning, but probably the bridge was removed from the project, if you know.
Yeah. We can certainly get that answered. If somebody wants that to us as well, we can get that answered for you. We'll probably have to go to our design folks and our maybe our environmental folks and find out where the change took place.
Next question is why propose thickness of 11 inches, similar to a runway in airport? Well, 11 inches is pretty much the standard thickness for a CRCP for over 50,000 ADT vehicles per day. So that's pretty much our standard design. Next question is, when will we know for sure if this project will be starting June, July? Yeah, ask about it, probably end of March or April, we are going to have updates about this specific date. Everything is depending of the opening of the utility relocation at this moment.
And Emily, you can follow up with me as well on that. We can certainly, if you want to circle back with me in a few months, we'll get you something updated if we have something at that time.
Jim, can you please comment on the process and results related to how to handle the BNSF crossing? Can you be more specific in the question? Because
I think the question is as similar as the one is answered.
Yes.
What's the design look like on the railroad crossing? And it's just an expanded surface crossing with the additional lane to the north, correct?
I don't have details about the design for this area, but I can provide if requested.
Okay, we'll dismiss that one.
We're going to find this road first. Due to construction, I believe people will start to use Highness Road. I'm assuming it's a transversal road as a cut through. Currently, it's a 1.5 lane, not 2. Are you going to expand this road first? I haven't checked that TCP yet, but we are going to try to stay in the main lanes. Like I was saying before, we are going to try to leave all the lanes open as much we can. We are going to have, of course, that daily, probably lane closures, depends of the type of work we are performing the project.
We'll certainly have periodic closures in place, but we'll keep the available capacity open for traffic. The traffic control plan, evolves over time, so we continue to look at that. There's something we can change or adjust to keep traffic flowing. We're going to do that certainly. So if there's anything that people see once construction does start, feel free to reach out to us and let us know so we can get options, including police officers and additional signage and barrels and things we can put out to keep traffic flowing and keep folks from cutting through or causing disruption of the traffic flow. We'll look at that.
Danny, can I expand on that question or that answer?
Yes.
Regarding the traffic control plan? Can you elaborate at all on the how access will be managed for the businesses along the roadway and the retail and restaurants? How will those be impacted, and how's the access plan going to work to make sure that everybody can get into those businesses?
Roger, you want to touch upon that, or you kind of want to go? Just give a general overview, Roger, on some of our other projects and how we operate.
Yeah, based on our experience, Bobby, the traffic control plan is pretty much very dynamic. We keep changing to adjust all the issues that we have with the businesses along the corridor. Pretty much a project on FM 1960 is more complicated one intersection with diamond connectors due to the stakeholders and all these businesses around. But as I mentioned before, we adjust all the time that TCP based on the needs that we have to allow all the business, not all the business working in the same conditions that they were doing before. The minimum impact, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we work to keep drives open and keep access flowing. And occasionally we'll get a call from a business that's being impacted, and we can look at that. And even though we have the traffic control plan in place, we can always make some adjustments, like I mentioned earlier. Something that we welcome folks to call us and see if there's something we can work together on. Our project folks, our project team tries to keep on top of all of those issues, but it's not until sometimes not until we get a call from someone that says, hey, this is causing me some issues, and we can look into that and make some modifications, certainly. So we don't want folks to feel like we're not, like whatever we have in place, we're locked into that. We can always make adjustments.
Okay. The next question is, what is the likelihood that this project could be delayed again?
So we don't call it a delay. We always provide an anticipated start time. And certainly when we have impacts, whether it's utilities or other issues that arise, that could push the anticipated start time back. So like Roger mentioned earlier, there could be some potential issues that arise. And so we'll minimize those as best as possible to keep on a solid schedule. But sometimes they just, things happen and we have to push start time.
Okay, next question. Will there be, in the design, are there going to be right-hand turn lanes? And if so, can you be specific? Can you provide a little detail on which intersections will have turning lanes?
We can provide.
Roger, you can go to the slide.
No, that's the existing. This is the only proposed slide I have so far. Right here, we're providing right turn lanes. It just depends on the specific location we are going to be providing. At this moment, I cannot provide at what intersection we are going to be adding the right turn lanes. But obviously, probably later we are going to be able, once the set of plans are complete.
Okay. And if somebody wants to look at those, the final schematic, we can certainly provide that. That's something we can send out. Somebody wants to look at that, it's not a problem.
Next question. Will the west side of 249 be expanded as well, or will it remain a total of 4 lanes?
I believe that's the project that was mentioned before, from 249 to Eldridge. Is that correct, Danny?
Yes.
Yes.
Side. We can certainly circle back on that and find out. Well, we'll have to get with some of our folks. So we have a team of folks that handle future projects, and there's and so we can get you an answer on that. It's not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, again, you have my email, so feel free to reach out with a specific question, and we'll definitely answer that.
Okay. Next question. Is there a plan to ensure the lights at Willowbrook Mall are kept operational? I'm told those are City of Houston and not controlled by TxDOT. I'm concerned about emergency vehicle responses being affected from the construction or malfunctioning traffic lights.
You want me to answer that, Roger?
Okay, yeah, because you've been working with the city. Go ahead.
So yeah, I mean, we have a great working relationship with the City of Houston, so that's not going to be any uncommon. I mean, it's not uncommon for us to work with them. Yeah, they do manage many signals they manage the signals within the city on our right of way, so we can work with them. We have in the past. So if any concerns with timing, just in my experience with other projects, anytime we've had any concerns, we will take those concerns, and then we'll work with the city on adjusting the timing. And if there's any other issues, certainly that's something that's woven into this project. So, but it's also something we monitor, and it's something that we can change if needed to address the concerns if there's, for emergency vehicles. And we can also include in the future, if we need to have officers, those kinds of things that can help with the flow of traffic, like working what they call the pigtails. Those are devices that the officers can use to change signals. So if we have a situation that arises, and I know we've done that on many of our projects, we can certainly use that as an option. So there's different tools in the toolbox that we can use to keep traffic flowing if there's an issue.
Okay, that seems like that's all our questions. So, oh, we got one more, just came in. Which department handles the City of Houston lights? The lights at JFK and Beltway near Bush Airport need adjusting.
Miss Davis, if you don't mind, send me that in an email. I have to look at my list because that area. I'm not sure if it's inside the City of Houston or not. If it's inside the City of Houston, it's definitely the City of Houston. But send me that email and I can look into that for you. And then we can, if it's ours, then we can ask our traffic engineering folks to signal folks to look at that and make some adjustments. And what particularly is the issue? If there's a specific concern, if it's green or it's too much red, let us know, and we can look at the timing. We do have folks that go out on a regular basis to check that, but send that to me and I can find out first and foremost if it's city or if it's ours. And then if it is city, we can go with our city folks, the city folks that we work with, and ask them to look at that for you rather than having you call 311.
So do you know if the plan for the Willowbrook project entails any sequencing of the lights along 1960? Is there going to be changes to that? Do you know?
No, at this moment.
Okay.
But that, like I mentioned earlier, is something we could always look at to adjust and to because the situation is to keep the traffic flowing with the available capacity that's there now. Okay. And as we continue construction, but like I've mentioned, we can certainly look at options and if there's something we can do to adjust. But we do have to work with the city. It's not something our folks control. Like the person mentioned earlier, if it's within the city of Houston manages those, and we have to go through them to make those adjustments.
Okay, a couple more questions have come in. Will the east construction start at Champions Park Drive or further east of there?
I would say that after letting, probably we are going to have of course, the pre-construction meeting, and we are going to start with sections that all the utilities are clear out. So that will be the first task for the contractor and TxDOT to coordinate.
So, clarify: is it going to be phased? Are you going to start it all at once, or is it going to be phased, working from one end to the other?
Usually, it's a phase from one end to the other, but it just depends. If the contractor proposes start from both directions with let's say with two crews, and they have enough people to work with both for east and west, we can review the construction phasing.
Okay. All right. Next question. Have any businesses been acquired to enable this project to be completed?
Oh, that would be a question for Roadway person.
Yeah, from the information I had gotten, the impact wouldn't be complete, but I mean, there was some right-of-way acquisition, but not much that would impact businesses other than some parking spots. So it's I'll have to go back and look and see where the actual right-of-way line is at. But if Mr. Robertson, if you have a concern about a particular business, you can email me and send me that information. I'll definitely check with our right-of-way folks and see what impacts, the potential impacts for that property. Okay.
The next question is asking for a specific slide on Cutton Road. Will it have two turning lanes? So.
Yeah, probably that's going to be shown in the schematics. So if you can request that via email, we can provide you, right, Danny?
Yes, for sure. And we can certainly come back at a later time when we get closer to letting. So feel free to invite us back out. We should have a lot more information and updates at that point once we get closer to letting and the start of construction.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll do that. All right. Oh, one more. Will northbound Cutton Road at 1960 be affected by construction?
Northbound. Probably it's going to be minimum just to get the intersection. But I don't think it's showing beyond the railway line.
Again, the goal is to keep available capacity moving and traffic moving on those lanes, including the intersecting roadways. But I mean, there may be an occasional closure. And of course, that information would be posted at HoustonTransStar.org. That's always, like I mentioned earlier, that's always a great resource to go to for closures.
All right, here's another question about the railroad tracks. And I think you answered this, that it has hydrology issues, but is any way the traffic can flow under the ground from the railroad track?
I think they're referring to this drawing here. Well, we have some projects that it's really hard to really, probably it's gonna take minimum 25 feet below the railroad. So it's gonna be very complicated to do that. We need a 25 feet or 26 feet clearance, particularly with a railroad, or railroad bridge in this case. So we are talking about depressing the area from half mile east to half mile west. So it's complicated, to be honest.
But it's something we could always look at in a future project.
All right, that seems to be all our questions. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. We will be back in touch. And yes, Danny, as information comes in and specifics about the project, please push those forward to us.
Sure.
And we will use our channels to make that information as accessible as possible.
Yeah, and we'll send you, Bobby, I'll send you the presentation so you can share it with the chamber, with the members.
Okay, we will. All right. Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.